child sees you're okay, and be vulnerable, like if you're sad, if you're normal emotions. Because what usually happens when you go through a divorce, everybody is be strong, be encouraged, it will be okay, you know, but there's that point now you have to allow yourself as a person first to go through the emotions of how you feel. I remember one time my mom saying, you're very bitter. I told her, of course I am bitter. I have been through something that has made me very bitter. That acknowledgement made her be a bit more gentle with me. So if she's able to talk to her child in a way that shows her that I understand that this is not what you have been through, and what you have been through is not normal, I also am in that space. And like for the programs we have, we call it DC4K, which is just specifically for children in the same situation to come. And every time they enter class, they'll be able to express, how was your week? I've had a sad week. Why did you have a sad week? Maybe my dad was supposed to pick me, he didn't pick me. My mom was to buy me something and there's no money. But never assume because a child is not talking that they are okay.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. Wakili, let us not turn this into a conversation about divorce, because then reality is that these cases of child custody will not only affect persons that were married. You had mentioned earlier on, of course, these are parents to a child, never been married. Maybe it was just perhaps one engagement and a baby is here. And then there's all this confusion as to what needs to be done. How different and how manageable is it for these persons that perhaps have never been married before, but then again, there's a child somewhere in between?
The Constitution clearly states that the responsibility of a parent, it accrues whether you're married or you're not married.
Okay.
So when you're talking about, and what are these responsibility? The child has what we call the rights of a child, which then is the responsibility of the parent. Issue like shelter, food, education, health, security, protection, those are the rights of a child, and what is the responsibility of a parent. And a parent is a biological parent of this child, or a parent by virtue of law that you have adopted this child. You have become a guardian of this child. So when you're talking about the issue of parental responsibility, you don't have to be married to someone for them to take responsibility. If they are the parents, by law, they should take responsibility.
Wakili, it gets complicated when there's that amicable agreement that I'll take care of my child, and then you take care of them. Perhaps this mother has a life, and therefore they go and meet another partner, or they even get another man and they get another child without having to marry that other person, and then they become two children. And then you find that this man now begins saying, well, I was giving out this and all that, but now I cannot take care of another man's child, because then you can't really micromanage how this money is going to be spent if you're going to release it to the account for the sake of it taking care of your child. If, for example, if your child is one out of the three that the mother has, your responsibility is to your child, not the other child, unless you accept what we call the acquisition of parental responsibility, unless you accept to also take care of the others. And how, when you're talking about the parties who are not staying together, at least the court tries to make a demarcation that does not really complicate issues. You would find probably the court will say, the person, when you're talking about custody, I wish to mention, there is what we call the legal custody and actual custody, care and control. When you're talking about the legal custody, that falls on the parents, whether they are staying together or not. The issue of the actual custody, care and control then goes to either of the parent. With if you have actual custody and control, the other parent will be given visitation rights. That's what we call the access rights. And you'll see, in more often than not, when the person who is staying with the children, and that will be the person who has the actual custody, care and control, the court may say, you provide for a shelter, you provide for food. The one who is not staying with the child, the court will say, you provide for medical cover, you provide for education, and maybe you send some maintenance. So that then, you see, if it's for school fees, you get the details for school fees account, so that except the maintenance that the court may give being a figure, then the other issue of support you take directly to the institution responsible. If it's about the issue of medical cover, you can take a medical cover, so that only when the child is sick, they can utilize the cover. So that then it is not a general support you're giving to all the children of that household, including those who are yours and those who are not yours. At least the court has tried to make the demarcation. And I wish to mention, previously, there was a general rule that mothers are the persons who can take responsibility of children of tender age. It was a general rule. But then, recently, there has been a shift that even the fathers can take responsibility of children of tender age. If they can prove, I am better placed, even when you're not staying together with the mother, I am better placed to take care of these children as compared with the mother.